Just seeing as I made the last video and I already had the units out because I wanted to make a 3K video for quite a wee while now. I just couldn't be bothered getting everything out. Primarily because when I do, I always manage to break something, and in today's video I have managed to break one of my favourite squads, the Eliminators. Yeah, see? Arm came right off. I don't think Hatchet Patch is going to release an issue with Eliminators, but you never know, I could always hope. Anyway, what makes a 3K Space Marine army? Not actually a lot of minis now that I have them all out and looking at them, because Space Marines are incredibly expensive point-wise. I'm currently building a Necron army and going through the codex and building up my dream 3K army list for Necrons. There's going to be a lot more units than the Space Marines that I have on show just now. But never mind. What makes my 3K Space Marine army? I'll start off with infantry first. So in no particular order, I have got a squad of 10 interceptors. That's the reason why I probably break them all. I've had quite some good success with the intercessors. They never really do much damage, but the point is it's more of a distraction piece there, and they're bullet sponges, I'm not going to lie, but they have been quite good, and the fact that you can deploy them outside your deployment zone as well means you can really harass your opponent quite early on. Still not quite done with the good old Reboot Guilliman here. I do like the Blood of Fett. I might have gone a bit heavy-handed on the base, but nonetheless, I like it. It took me ages to detail this, by the way. I lost count of how many Walking Dead episodes I actually got through, but it is still a good model. Only really managed to actually use them in combat once, to be honest, and I got absolutely kicked, but at that point my army was in the game getting absolutely harassed. Next up is my Dissolution Squad, or the Desi Squad, as I like to call them. These were worth their weight in point gold. They did a lot of damage. The dice was not my friend that day. I have never rolled so many ones or twos in my entire life. Terminator Squad, just basic with the Lieutenant and a cool little chaplain, which I'm pretty chuffed at how that turned out, actually, to be fair. Terminators, as you'd imagine, they did a lot of damage. They were quite key to. I was defeated in that last game, but it was a glorious defeat. This little number here, the cannon. Now, very slow moving. The 3-inch movement is painful, but that did a lot of damage as well. I was quite chuffed with that, actually. There's not many models I was disappointed in. Squad of 10 Flamers, and I do have the Apocryphy there for the revivability. Almost like the Intercessors, they were there just to annoy my opponent. They didn't really do too much damage, but the Apocryphy bringing back the minis into play was really quite aggravating. And it bought me time for my other minis as well on the table. So I would definitely... I think that's a good tip for you guys if you're going to do Space Marines, is have a squad of 10 Flamers and your Apocryphy attached to them. They did a trick. Captain, I know he's missing an arm. I did do a video about it last time there, probably for the same reason why my Eliminators are also missing. Well, this guy is missing his rifle, but I do have glue. I will get him fixed. The Eliminators, they would have been good. It's just the dice really was not my friend. When I did actually manage to roll an actual hit point, the opponent saved it, so I couldn't really do much damage. I was just so really unlucky with how the dice was rolling that day. But they are good minis. I like them, they're good for support. The Tech Marine, I've got quite a few vehicle models there. Tech Marine, like the Apocryphy, really good for taking off wounds. Had I remembered to do it in my combat phase, he would have been better. Might have been another reason why I didn't do particularly well that day. But it has been 15 years since I've actually played Warhammer, so I think I get away with that. This guy, now we're getting on to the models. Redemptor Dreadnought. unfortunately, he did not survive long. I thought the Dreadnought would have survived a lot longer than that. You see, my plan was enter this big guy, the Storm Raven. Transport is insane, right? This guy, I had carry my Dreadnought, my Terminator squad as well. Unfortunately, when they came into play in round 2, all of the infantry there that I just showed you was pretty much all but gone, apart from the Eliminators and the Flamers. So I was hoping for a comeback. It didn't really happen. But just whilst I've got that out there, because I did see a couple of things on YouTube there when I was researching of how I can get the Storm Raven, because this took ages to find. But a lot of folk were wondering actually what is the size difference between the Storm Raven and the gunship, which you can apparently find everywhere. So there you go, there's the size difference. Unfortunately, this got shot down, tabled turn 1, didn't even get to use it, didn't even get to move it. So next time round, hopefully I'll get to see how that actually works on the tabletop. I'll move that there as well. But the Storm Raven ornament is just absolutely incredible. I can't wait to actually properly use it as well, because unfortunately this did get tabled as soon as it came into battle as well, which obviously I had to emergency depart all my units. Thankfully there was no deadly demise, so some sort of saving grace. Very heavy point wise for that Storm Raven, but honestly look up the codex, you can understand why it is so heavy points. Now on top of that, these are my heavy damaging. Yeah, I know, don't judge me, I do have blue tack on there, and my hammer strike will show you exactly why I tried to do blue tack. Forming up more part of the 3k army is these two executioners, repulsor executioners. This is what causes stress in my opponents there when they see these two units rock up. I have had nothing but success with these repulsor executioners, and I absolutely love them. They are my favourite models. 100% lot of damage there. And if anybody has a better way of taking your vehicle models and having them actually stick onto the plates, I would be greatly appreciated if you could draw that in the comments, because this, don't judge it too harsh, right? This was the very first model I painted coming back into Warhammer after 15 odd years, and I can tell, after how well I've painted all the other ones, I can tell this was definitely my first one. I've also had to blue tack it because it just, that's all it does every time I play. So the guys are happy enough if I just leave the base and I move it on there. So again, if you have any tips on how to keep the vehicle models, particularly the flyers, it'd be much handier. And last model is the Brutalis Dreadnought as well. He did alright actually. He did alright. He survived a lot longer than the Redempted Dreadnought, which is quite intriguing. But there you go. That's what makes up my 3k Space Marine army. As you can imagine, if it's spread out, it does take up quite a bit of room there. But I might do a little video flyby of it. And if I can actually remember, the next time I play a 3k Space Marine game, I might actually take some photos and record it. But that particular battle was my army. It was 2v1, so my 3k Space Marine army against two 1.5k orcs and World Eaters. And the World Eaters was just brutal, very dangerous in close combat, but it was a fun game. It took hours, 5 hours for essentially a 6,000 point army game. But look, it was fun. But yeah, I'm chuffed I've actually finally gotten around to making this video. It is a long video, 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes. So if you've managed to stick around till now, then thank you very much. Until next time, thank you.